Two teams trying to find their way tonight at the Saddle Dome as VGK meets the Calgary Flames for the first time this season. The Golden Knights need to get the offense going. The Flames have to finish games and finish plays. It's an intriguing matchup. We'll preview it next right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcasts. Please make sure to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. I am a longtime sportscaster, a marketing consultant, and the host of the Believe in Vegas podcast. And Chris, the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports, and the host of the Hockey News Collectibles Show. Coming up ahead on today's show, we'll talk about Pavel Dorofeyev again, and Lane Hutson signed perhaps the benchmark contract yesterday, and we'll see if this is where Pavel Dorofeyev is going to be heading. And then also coming up today, it is that time for our locks, props, and chants. You can now catch us every day on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Tune in 1 o'clock daily, Monday through Friday. SSSEN is the place to be. You can check it out on YouTube TV as well, and Cox Cable Channel 77. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com. So a lot of question marks for both of these teams tonight. Can the Golden Knights score the first goal this evening? That is, again, they're trending in the wrong direction there. Can they avoid getting into overtime for the first time in 4 games to start the season? A regulation win would be awfully nice for VGK. They need a solid win tonight in Calgary against a divisional foe. And how can the Golden Knights start fast this evening, Chris? Remember when the first 10 minutes really mattered in games? I'm sure we might hear Cassidy, when he's swaying away, say something to that effect, that they need to play well the first 10 minutes tonight.
First 10 minutes always matter. The last 10 minutes matter. And the middle 20, 30, the middle 40 minutes matter too here. So at the end of the day, VGK has now chased in this season 3 straight games and probably about 37 games straight, right? They've been chasing or something going back to last season, Tony, it feels like. So yeah, better starts, greasy goal maybe from, the third or fourth line or something, just kind of fluky maybe, just to get things started on the right foot. When you chase, it changes the way you play the game. The longer you chase and more problems happen and problems start compounding. So better start, priority number 1 against a Flames team who has scored 1 and 2 goals in their last 2 games.
We'll talk more later about Pavel Dorofeyev, but yesterday named the first star of the week. Quite an opening act for Pavel Dorofeyev.
Yeah, I mean, geez, there's only so much we can say at this point besides the fact that where would VGK be without Dorofeyev in his 5 goals, 4 of which, all 5 on the power play?
4.
Well, 1 regulated, yeah. He had 1 that was kind of like a fluky shot in the opener now. I remember that.
Yeah. You can't say much about him more because we've already talked superlatives, but he is well on his way to having an outstanding season. The Flames, on the other hand, here's a team that's been outshot every game, 35-22 to Edmonton, 26-18 versus Vancouver, 29-28 against the Blues. And they're playing well for 40 minutes, but they cannot close out the past 2 games. Gary's lone win of the season against Edmonton. I know Golick would have loved that game, an 8-round shootout. Oh, that would have been so much fun. And Nazem Kadri with the finishing touches there. There was a stretch where in that game, Chris, there were 11 straight shots that were stopped in the shootout. 11 straight. Flames rallied from 3 goals down.
That's shootouts are dumb, so that's dumb. Make the net bigger.
We also saw Blake Coleman score in that game, the equalizer on the fumble by Stuart Skinner. And so 2 losses, Vancouver and St. Louis. And it's hard to figure out this game this evening. But we know that VGK can get 4 divisional points in their next 3 games by playing against the Flames first here in Calgary, then later on in the week here at the Fortress in Vegas.
Yeah, the Golden Knights have had good luck against the Flames at home at T-Mobile Arena. Just looking at this Flames roster, this is a team that was okay last year, right? In the playoff hunt until about the last 2 weeks or so. Good story with all the personnel changes, people wanting out. Rasmus Anderson still wants out. All these things that are happening right now. You got a 19-year-old Matt V. Gridden on the left wing on the top line. You got Kadri and youngster Coronado moving up through the ranks. Second line, Morgan Frost, Joel Farabee, and Sharon Govich, a good vet line right there. Backlund, another vet. Honzek is young. Blake Coleman we talked about. And then fourth line, Connor Zary, Klapka, and Lomberg. Zary and Klapka, younger players. Defense, obviously, we know about Rasmus Anderson, Kevin Ball, Mackenzie Weegar, and Miramanov are on the second pairing, familiar name. And then Joel Hanley and Zane Parekh, rookie, on the third line. And Dustin Wolf, can't say enough about him, Calder finalist and projected starter tonight. And I'm still watching him a bunch playing with the Calgary Wranglers down at Lee's Family Forum. Great goalie, fun to watch.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to definitely be keeping an eye out for future Golden Knighter Rasmus Anderson, as you mentioned.
Yeah, be nice to him. Be nice to him tonight, Golden Knights. Be nice.
It's a showcase game, perhaps. Is Kelly McCrimmon taking Rasmussen? I call him Rasmussen. I combine the names there. Is McCrimmon taking Rasmussen to dinner last night at the Cattle Baron? Is that considered tampering?
Razzie, no.
They're going to
friendly people having a dinner, breaking some bread, having a drink or two, just talking about everything besides possibly playing in Vegas. There's nothing that's fine. It's all good right there.
Here's what the doctor ordered, though. If they get Razzie Anderson in the loss to St. Louis, Chris, he shot the puck 7 times, 3 times between the circles, and again, he would revive the career of Noah Hannafin. Even though everyone thinks he's a superstar, he's not played to that expectation.
Listen, the Golden Knights defense, although let's credit Seattle, the Golden Knights did play very well defensively, 5-on-5 and overtime.
They slowed the game down. They played the 4 corners offense, for crying out loud.
Fine, still they gave up one. They gave up 1 goal in regulation and no special team and no 5-on-5 goals. So if we're gonna knock the defense in Adin Hill, we have to credit the defense in Adin Hill when it comes together, and it did come together against Seattle. And now they get the Calgary Flames, who certainly don't pose a major offensive threat. There's some talent there in Calgary, but I don't think it's necessarily going to match what Vegas can bring. But can Vegas get the chemistry together today? That's the thing. How long does Cassidy keep Eichel and Marner together? Does he go out there without Eichel and Marner to start this one and just kind of mixing it up right now? And I think it's a good thing to keep mixing it up. I think Eichel and Marner should be plan B, not plan A, personally. I would love to see more balance in the lineup and Marner out there with anyone but Jack. And then if third period, you got to load up, but start the game with them on separate lines, roll 4 lines with 3 very, very deadly offensive lines.
And Calgary missing a couple of frontline players. Jonathan Huberdeau is out. Martin Papasil, they're both on the injured list for the Flames. This is so rigged. It is so rigged. So the Flames are on the front end of a back-to-back. And so they play tonight at home at the Saddle Dome. Tomorrow night, they're in Salt Lake City against the Mammoth. So what? I don't know. I'm no aviator, but 2 to 3 hours of flying time after the game. And then they play a game tomorrow. When VGK plays a back-to-back, Golick, they play at home. If they have to travel, they're going down the road to San Jose.
2 to 3 hours in a chartered flight in a private terminal where they just get there 10 minutes sooner and before the plane takes off. They'll be fine, Tony. They're used to it. So used to this. It's okay.
So we got Dustin Wolf versus Adin Hill tonight?
Likely. I would say that's pretty likely.
And Ryan Huska, the head coach there of Calgary of the Flames, signed that extended contract for 2 more years earlier this month. And again, the question, when are they gonna extend Bruce Cassidy?
We'll see. Hopefully sooner than later.
So rigged. Coming up next, Montreal came to terms with its young defenseman, 21 years old, Lane Hutson, his nearly $9 million deal times 8 years, perhaps a benchmark where we can see a contract headed for Pavel Dorofeyev. Our follow-up from yesterday's discussion comes your way next right here on Locked On Golden Knights. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer that you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if that bet wins, you'll receive $300 in bonus bets. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you're going to unlock $300 in bonus bets that you could use across the application. We definitely love how FanDuel gives you so many options, so many ways to play, from the player props to even you can follow the live lines during games. You can build those parlays, same game parlays. It really does make watching football, playing the game within the game more exciting because you definitely have a little something riding on that game, on the action. Whether you're a casual fan or you love to dive into the stats, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com today, FanDuel.com, to download the FanDuel app and get started. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. I got a lot of hate yesterday they posted my photo. 4 years with, doing
Someone
the show.
cashed a massive over ticket, that's for sure.
You cashed the over ticket. Some people were like, yeah, nice lid. I got the branding, the Dasco branding in there, so that's all that matters, right? Please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. Can he make it 4 more years? Okay, so
who gets an extension first, Tony or Bruce Cassidy?
Cass. Well, you never know. No, it's a toss-up right there. It's minus 110 in each direction.
Who finishes their contract, Cassidy or Tony?
Ooh, that's a good question. So, do you think that VGK should extend Pavel Dorofeyev for 723,622,320 rubles AAV? That's $9 million. That's $9 million if you're keeping track at home. If that's Lane Hutson's new deal, does Dorofeyev get a new contract extension, 8 years in that vicinity?
I think VGK needs to extend Dorofeyev yesterday in the ballpark of 8 times 8s.
8 times 8. Why not more?
I think
9?
more. No. I think so. Timing is key here. 8 times 8 right now, I think, is a friendly deal on both sides. It's Dorofeyev's richest contract to date, paying him for the player he's likely to become, but it also doesn't necessarily handcuff VGK in case he's only a mid-20 goal scorer, upper 20 goal scorer, something like that. You're paying him to be a routine 30, 35, 38, 40 goal scorer if he's going to get $8 million. But if Dorofeyev puts up a 45 goal campaign, which at this point is more likely than not likely. I know it's only a 3-game sample size, but if Dorofeyev puts up a 45 goal season without having an extension secure, his team is going to bat for no less than 9 million AAV, if not 10 million. You look at the trajectory, and he'd be a 25-year-old that would have 80 goals in his past 2 regular season campaigns. Now, can you do it, come playoff time and everything? That certainly could impact his next contract, but a direct comparable is going to be Matt Boldy. Matt Boldy last 3 full seasons combined for, let's call it about 205 points, 31, 29, 27 goals, a lot more assists for Boldy, 12th pick overall in the 2019 draft. Boldy's currently on a 7x7 deal that was signed prior to the 2023 season. You factor inflation, you factor the rising salary cap. No less than 8 times 8 for Dorofeyev is in play right now. If this weight goes, the longer this goes and the better Dorofeyev does, that number is just going to go up and up and up and up.
And you have to also figure in the value of the ruble. You do. And so 5 goals already for Doro, and he needs now to equal last year's total output in 30 more goals in 79 games.
He'll be there like in 2 weeks, Tony. He'll be there in like 2 weeks the way he's going.
Well, if they play Calgary every night on the front end or back end of a back-to-back, yeah, definitely. But probably game 62 or 63, he's going to hit that number. So we know that centers, right, Chris? We know that centers command more money than wingers.
Do defensemen.
Do forwards make more money than defensemen? That's the question. If that's the case, then Dorofeyev should earn more.
Defensemen, no, I think so. Hutson, first of all, let's talk about Lane Hutson and why we're bringing this up right now. Hutson, like you said, he got all those rubles and some American money too, 8.85.
The rubles are going to Dorofeyev.
Whatever you say. I'll figure this out later. I think Lane Hutson is dual citizenship, so I can really confuse things. So listen, Lane Hutson, 60 assists as a 20/21-year-old with the Montreal Canadiens. You're talking a possible, like Cale Makar generational.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. Valentine's Day, February 14th. So that's all I see right there. February 14th for Lane Hutson birthday. So going back to Hutson,
got the sweetheart deal for sure.
I don't know if we're talking Cale Makar generational talent yet, but you might be in that neighborhood. Cale Makar is going to be a top 3 defenseman when the dust settles. Is Hutson going to be anywhere near that? I think we can pump the brakes a little bit, but let's see if Hutson puts up another 60-point season. Maybe then we will be talking about someone who could be a top 10 defenseman of all time. So is Dorofeyev, as far as that notoriety goes? Of course not, unless he does score 70 goals this year. You never know. But so that might limit Dorofeyev going over $8.859 million. McCrimmon's going to say, look at Lane Hutson. How can you want more money than someone who might be one of the best defensemen of all time, or at least in modern time, outside of a Cale Makar and players like that? Or
Small sample size. It's
small sample size for Hutson and Dorofeyev, which is why people on Twitter yesterday thought I was insane for saying that Dorofeyev's camp can go to bat for $10 million if he's not inked by the end of the season and puts up 45 goals. Why would you not?
No doubt. And here's a big number. How about this number? Lane Hutson, 25 assists on the power play unit. So he had 60 assists.
Power plays pay.
Yeah, for sure. Well, then Dorofeyev's going to secure the bag.
Exactly.
And he was Hutson, the Calder Trophy winner as well. Bingo. So, like, let's say, okay, so for Les Habitants, it's about the $9 million nearly contract is only about 8% of their cap. VGK would be they'd be paying a ton of money for 3 superstars if Dorofeyev continues to develop at this pace. You've got Eichel, Marner, and Dorofeyev. Even if the cap is going up per se, it could gobble up between those players, 25, 30% combined of the cap space. Is that a gamble for the Golden Knights if they were to lock down Dorofeyev at, say, $9 million for the next 8 years? Is that a gamble?
I put out that lovely graphic with the Golden Knights Big Six, Craps reference for those of you that don't know that. And now if Dorofeyev does get a massive extension, now we go from Big Six to Lucky Seven. I don't know what the math would be as far as what those 7 players would be against the cap. It's probably north of 55, 60% at that point. But that's what you see teams doing right now. You see them locking up these cores, or in VGK's case, much bigger than a core. So, I mean, if it goes 8 times 8 for Dorofeyev, Eichel, Marner, Hannafin, Theodore, Aiden Hill, Tomas Hertl,
the Carlson extension.
Yeah, there you go. You have those 7 players on the same roster at least until the 2030 season. Think about that for a second.
That's a gamble. That's a gamble. Right?
What are you going to find better than Dorofeyev at that money? What are you going to find?
Okay, well,
at that age,
yeah, for sure. And to clarify things from yesterday too, you can sign VGK. You don't have to wait till the end of the season.
We were talking about this like right before showtime. We weren't sure.
Well, you don't have to wait till the end of the season to put out an offer sheet or to
make a deal. Make a deal with an RFA.
With an RFA, correct. So we just want to make sure that we clarify all that because we are in between all of the nonsense and shenanigans. We like to be factual sometimes. Coming up next,
people are getting weird. You're making the crowd uncomfortable right now.
As always, rigged. Locks, props, and Rigness. No, locks, props, and chance. Up next on Lockdown Golden Knights. If you're like most of us, you cannot name all your financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's a 401k or multiple 401ks, properties, investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving a lot of cabbage on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal financial tool. It brings all of your finances together, nice, tidy, in an easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you're off organizing your finances, then you need Monarch. It's definitely for you. It does all the heavy lifting, and you can link all your accounts in a matter of minutes. You can see clear data visuals. You can get smart categorization of your spending, and you can finally feel in control of all your money without ever touching a stinking spreadsheet. That's the best. Maximizing investments, increasing your savings rate, easily reviewing finances with your partner and or financial advisor, keeping a clear view of your financial health week to week and long term. That's what this is all about. So do not let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use the Lockdown Golden Knight NHL code at monarchmoney.com. It's in your browser, and you'll receive half off of your first year. Again, 50% off of your first year at monarchmoney.com. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, big shout out to our everydayers for sure. Big shouts to our friends and family and everyone that watches us daily on SSSEN. That's going really well. We appreciate everyone at the station there helping us out, all the promos and what have you. And huge success just out of the chute, you might say. So it is at that time for locks, props, and chance. And I'm still trying to figure out chance, but okay. So
chance is a single game parlay.
Oh,
it's putting in that whatever your smallest betting unit is that you light on fire.
How many rubles?
You pray for rain. That's what the chance is.
What's the lowest amount of rubles we can bet? And do we get 300 rubles back?
Probably whatever the equivalent is of $1 USD is probably the lowest ruble you can bet. Put your head up, Tony. You got the green on the hat, so like it comes through. That's pretty cool. The background there, because it's like it thinks your hat's a green screen. It's pretty funny.
That's kind of funny. Who knows? New lid. Defenseman, only 2 assists so far through 3 games. So I think tonight could be a night for the Blue Liners. Shea Theodore, I think, will get a goal tonight. Don't be surprised if he scores the first goal of the game for the first time in 4 games this season for VGK. And I'm going to go with Mitchie Marner. Mitchie Marner tallying the first goal. I know it's not Marner Monday, but I still think
Monarch Money sponsored the segment, so we're fine.
What a tongue twister. In 24 games against Calgary, 20 points for Mitch Marner, including 8 goals. And I think this is a game. I'm in the lead now, right? Because I picked Seattle the other night. 5-4 VGK is my pick. 5-4 Golden Knights. I'm going to go with Shea Theodore scoring the first goal of the night in this game, period. And I'm going to go with Mitch Marner to get the equalizer to Ryan Reeves, the goal scoring category.
I would have loved to see the betting prop over the weekend. What's more, Ryan Reeves goals or New York Jets passing yards?
Oh, come on, man. Why do you have to go there?
Good.
We were having a good show up until that point.
Roasted you in those Rodney Dangerfield eyes.
Minus 10. How do you have minus 10 yards passing?
Justin Fields. I'm from Chicago. We're used to that sort of nonsense there with Justin Fields.
Thanks for sending us your scraps, bro.
All right, Barbie's going to score. Smith is going to score. Hopefully it's a little better than the last Riley Smith goal. 3-2 Vegas Golden Knights. I think it's going to be a little lower scoring and a little bit of a tighter game. Talk about some odds here and some props, and I built a nice little single game parlay on FanDuel. That's our chance. We'll see if that can cash. So Golden Knights are minus 166, Flames plus 138. You got over under a 5.5. Shaded slightly on the overside at minus 128. Two props. It's kind of more. It's actually about four props, but it's basically two props. So first of all, anytime goal scorer. This is not exactly putting myself out there. Plus 190 for Dorofeyev. Dude's on fire. If the Golden Knights get 2 or 3 power plays, that should be a ticket that gets cashed. And then instead of betting the Flames to score the first goal, I'm going to take a combination, 3 separate bets. Kadri plus 1,400, Coronado plus 1,700, Farabee plus 2,000. So you make one bet on each of them to score the first goal. It's basically a 3 to 4 to 5 to 1 payout depending on which one scores, if one of the Flames is going to be the first goal scorer. And then here's a fun single game parlay right here. All right. Golden Knights to win the game, under 5.5. Calgary Flames score the first goal. Jack Eichel 2 or greater points. And the Golden Knights to score the last goal of the game in 60 minutes. That'll pay a plus 3,000 and change. Basically, $5 wins you $150 if all 5 of those chances come in on the same tickets.
Jack Eichel, 7 points to start the season, leads the NHL.
League leader, unless something changed last night. But yeah,
I don't think so. But yeah, so 7 points to get things going for VGK, and I like taking the last goal of the game because Calgary's having a difficult time.
Yeah, that's why I tossed that in the SGP.
Yeah, they're playing a good 40 minutes, and I've listened to their post-game show the other night, and they were just saying that the team's playing well. They just didn't have that puck luck. They didn't have puck luck.
They're youngsters that need to learn how to finish a hockey game is what that's code for. But yeah,
the VGK defense. Talk about them real fast. Still trying to figure things out.
Theodore, I think, is having trouble because he's not on the top power play unit, not getting those touches. Kind of like Noah Hannafin last year, not on the top power play unit, not getting those touches. So you try and compensate for it elsewhere throughout the game. The guy let the game come to you is probably the only bit of advice I could possibly even think that Coach Cassidy would throw Theodore's way, and just bide your time. Who knows? Theodore could wind up back on the power play if it slows down. Funny.
Noah Hannafin is not on this trip, and so they can't do the tribute video for him in the penalty box. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Okay, I had to go there. We appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our everydayers. Please subscribe, Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. Catch us on SSSEN. I'm Tony Cardasco for Chris Golick. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights.